All right, beautiful people. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. It is July the 14th, 2022, day 158 of year 4 of reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets, another 4-year consecutive day count, day 1176. Today we're picking up where we left off at in the first book of God, which is found in Oahspe on page 303. All right, beautiful people. Father, we thank you for another day to, on our own, get up and search for truth. All right, y'all. Alicia, y'all. Oh, the video that you sent me, clearly they be uploading TikToks, and I don't be on TikTok like that for real. So when you sitting there, I'm like, what? So I went checking through all the videos early this morning that all my smaller children posted, and then I deleted quite a few of them, right? Because the music was inappropriate for children. All right, beautiful people. Girl, that's what I was talking about when you said because you sent it to me like 2-something this morning. I was knocked out. Okay, y'all. Page 303, starting at chapter 19, and we're actually almost done with this book. We'll probably be done with it about a weekend. Yeah, probably. Before the weekend is out, we'll be done with the first book of God if we don't finish with it tomorrow. There's a total, this is 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I love chapter 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 chapters in the first book of God, and we're on chapter 19. So definitely by Sunday, we'll be done. We'll be done with the first book of God. Then we go into the book of wars against Jehovah. I have not read ahead any of this book. I've heard something about it, but I wanted to get all the feels first time reading it. So I was like, we're coming upon that one next. So I'm going to be reading the first time along with y'all when we get to it. All right, y'all. First book of God, chapter 19 on page 303. And the angel of God appeared in the midst of the circle in Sargus and talked with them face to face. And Hog said unto the angel, of a truth, I know that thou art not mortal, and yet thou hast the semblance of flesh, and limbs, and arms, and a very body, and art clothed withal, and thy clothes are like mortal clothes. Now I tell thee face to face, I believe thou art no angel of the dead, but a very reflected self-substance produced out of the substance of my Father. How sayest thou? The angel answered, saying, mortal words cannot convince thee, neither the words of a spirit. Behold, I will show thee a friend of thine who is dead. With that, the angel showed the spirit of Hog's friend who was dead, and the man's name was Aranacta. And so Hog said unto him, wait a minute, did I read this? Maybe I read it. I read it to myself. I don't think I read this out loud to y'all. Did we? I think I just read ahead. Tiffany, hey girl, hey, set apart living, grand rising. I think it was just me reading ahead. I don't think I read this out loud to y'all. That's why I was like, wait a minute, did I? Okay, I'm gonna just keep reading. Because I put my marker here. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I kept reading after I ended the video. That's why I was like, wait a minute, didn't I read this? Which I did, but I didn't read it out loud to y'all. And even if, right, Tiffany, even if I did, can't hurt to read it again. Anita, shalom, shalom, Jen, grand rising. Okay, I was only on verse 3, so let me just start again. Chapter 19, we're just getting started, y'all. Page 303. And the angel of God appeared in the midst of the circle in Sargus and talked with them face to face. And Hog said unto the angel, of a truth, I know that thou art not mortal, and yet thou hast the semblance of flesh, and limbs, and arms, and a very body, and art clothed withal, and thy clothes are like mortal clothes. Now I tell thee face to face, I believe thou art no angel of the dead, but a very reflected self-substance produced out of the substance of my Father. How sayest thou? The angel answered, saying, Mortal words cannot convince thee, neither the words of a spirit. Behold, I will show thee a friend of thine who is dead. With that, the angel showed the spirit of Hog's friend who was dead, and the man's name was Aranacta. And so Hog said unto him, Thou art a very counterpart of him I knew. What is thy name? The spirit answered, Aranacta. I tell thee, O Hog, these things are true. I am the spirit of thy friend, yea, I am that very friend. Hog said, Where dwellest thou? Where hast thou been? Art thou happy? Hast thou visited all the heavens? The Spirit answered, saying, I dwell on the earth even as before death, around about. I am happy. The glory of my present world surpasseth the earth. I have not visited the highest heavens. I am only as yet in the first resurrection. Up above us there are heavens where all the people Up above us, there are heavens where all the people are gods and goddesses. I cannot go there. They are all too white. The spirit then disappeared, and Hog said, What I have seen, I have seen. What I have heard, I have heard. Yet I believe not that I have seen a spirit nor heard one. A spirit must in reason be thin and subtle and air like. Then spake the angel of God, saying, How shall I please this man, O Ormaz? This day I showed myself in the door of the hut, thin and subtle and air like, and he saw me not, nor heard me. Who can find a way to open this man's soul to thy wisdom, O Ormaz? Now spake Utiv, remember Utiv is his mother, Brahma's wife, now spake Utiv, Great is the glory of thy angel, O Ormaz. Heavenly are the spirits of the dead. Welcome, O ye angels of heaven. Then spake Weish, saying, Even the lowest of heavens hath great glory. O the delight to dwell in such a paradise. Then thus spake, saying, Such wisdom and truth, what are thy kingdoms, O Father, when even the first heaven hath such glory? Gideon said, Because I have lived to behold these things, I will proclaim thy wonders, O Ormaz, as long as I live. Vedi said, Truth is thy mightiest work, O Ormaz. Uz said, How wisely hast thou framed thy words, O Ormaz. Even thy lowest of angels are the delight of my soul. Next spake Seta, I'm sorry, not Seta, say it. He said, Give us of thy abundance, O Ormaz. Open wide the gates of the lower heavens. I will take thy angels to my arms and rejoice forever. Brahma then came out of his trance, though he had heard and seen all. He said, Whoever cometh that can make me better and show me how most to benefit thy world. Oh, okay. Let me read again. Verse 9. Brahma then came out of his trance, though he had heard and seen all. He said, Whoever cometh that can make me better and show me how most to benefit thy world, him, O Ormaz, send thou unto me. And lo, first of all, Brahma was answered. A light, bright as the sun, stood in the midst of the circle, and it was higher than the clouds, and displayed a staff on which was a banner of gold and silver, and on the banner stars clustered to spell the words love, wisdom, and power. Presently, the scene changed, and the angel of God said, He that spake last, and in parentheses, it has Brahma because Brahma spoke last. Presently, the scene changed, and the angel of God said, He that spake last, Brahma, hath been answered first, because his words reach to the fountainhead. Wheresoever ye send your prayers, there are ye answered. To which end I will now open the gates of the lower heavens, and ye shall witness what ye may. I'm going to read the verse again. Verse 10. Presently the scene changed, and the angel of God said, He that spake last, Brahma, hath been answered first, because his words reached the fountainhead. Wheresoever ye send your prayers, there are ye answered. To which end I will now open the gates of the lower heavens, and ye shall witness what ye may. The angel withdrew all the lights around about, so that great darkness might be upon the circle. Presently, Util started as if affrighted somewhat. Then Vuss sprang up, saying, What was that? And then another started, till presently all but Brahma and Hog were wild and startled, whispering, What do my eyes behold? Oh, that foul smell! Oh, that vulgar touch! And then one screamed, and another, until all broke and fled, screaming and crying out of fear and distress, flying in the darkness of the grove, frantic, almost dead with fear. Hog ran not, saw nothing to fear, heard nothing to dread, felt nothing to make him ashamed. And his father, Brahma, ran not, nor was afraid. And the twain called to the rest, pleaded, coaxed, and called in vain, could not stop them, could not find them in the darkness. They returned to the hut. Brahma and the hog saw the torches burning brightly, and came in and found Utiv and her sons huddled together in each other's arms, white and as pale as death. Hog asked the reason. Utif said, Shh, are they gone? Shh, keep them away. Then spake Vuz, saying, O my brother, ask not what we saw, ask not what we felt, and what felt us. These things would not be lawful to mention. Say no more in heaven's name. The air of heaven is full of demons, and after demons it has druhas. Verse 15. Now spake Vedi, saying, Alas, O my father, I dropped the holy book, the Veda I am writing. In my fright I let it fall. It is not sized yet, and it should rain. And I'm sorry, it is not the size seized. It is not seized yet, and should it rain ere morning, the holy words will be lost. And not for 1,000 worlds would I go back to the grove this night. Whatever they saw scared the bejesus out of them. Hold on. I think I might use it for a title today. Ask not what we felt and what felt us. It depends. I'll see what else we read. Hold on. Now spake Vedi, saying, Alas, O my father, I dropped the holy book, the Veda I am writing. In my fright I let it fall. It is not seized yet, and should it rain ere morning, the holy words will be lost. And not for 1,000 worlds would I go back to the grove this night. Uz said, Nor I for 1,000 worlds. We ish said, For all the gold and silver in the world, I would not go there this night. So they all spake, save Hall, and with all the love they bore for Ormaz's words, nothing doubting they were his very words, not one would venture amongst the evil spirits they had seen to recover the book. Then spake Brahma, saying, For many generations Ormaz hath labored for this. I will go myself. I know he will protect me at all times and in all places. And Brahma rose up to depart. But then spake Hog, saying, Nay, father, thou art old. I am fresh and young, and withal, no, there are no spirits, but in the imagination of men, I will go alone. Nor will I bear a lantern, nor a torch, nor will I whistle, nor sing. I will confront all the evil spirits of hell and their captains. I will recover that book this night, though I scrape every leaf from Ebon. Hold on. Nor will I bear a lantern nor a torch, nor will I whistle nor sing. I will confront all the evil spirits of hell and their captains. I will recover that book this night, though I scrape every leaf from Ebon Grove. And mark ye too, I will return unscathed, nor will I see nor hear a spirit while I am gone. So Hog and Brahma only were fearless. Well, I guess his lack of spiritualness actually helping out the whole family at this point. Because he's like, what? I ain't seen nothing out there. I'll go get the book. Y'all wait right here. Daddy, stay here. You too old. I'm gonna go get it and I'll be back. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Just watch. Yeah, he feeling real brave and confident, right? Not Keon. You using Keon account. What you say your name was? Hold on. I'm gonna remember. You said Tiffany? No, not Tiffany. You said, what did Keon mama say her name was, y'all? I'm phoning a friend. I forgot. But Shalom. That's right. Tabitha. I'm sorry, I said Tiffany. You put it right here in your comment. Tabitha. Remember, y'all, Keon Cooper is actually Tabitha. She using her son's account. But anyway, shalom, sis, shalom. Okay, verse 19. With that, Hog departed, and after a while he returned, rejoicing, bringing the book, and he said, I neither saw nor heard a spirit, and I declare unto you that none of you saw nor heard them, for there are none. By the extreme bent of your minds, these imaginations seem real. And as to the great light with the words, love, wisdom, and power, which I also saw, I say unto you, it is some emanation from this, our holy and most loved Father. How oft have we heard him use those same words? And as to those figures that talked and had the semblance of men and women, even to their garments, I say unto you, they emanate from the same source, even from our Father, even Brahma. Now spake Utif, saying, O happy unbelief, O happy unbelief, my son. Oh, that I had been born as thou. Oh, that I had never seen such sights as I saw this night. Then said Us, O happy brother, our youngest born, would that I were like unto thee. Oh, the vulgarity of those hands that came upon me this night. Thus said, Oh, that I had never known the unseen world. Oh, that I had been born in darkness like unto thee, our most favorite brother. Now he the most favorite brother. Everybody else can hear and see spiritually, and he can't see nothing. At first he was kind of upset, but then again he wasn't. I like the way Hog handled this. He was like, why can't I see? Father, mother, what's going on? Am I not as righteous as all my other six brethren? Even the neighbors, if they look at us, they wouldn't even be able to tell us apart, not in just our looks, but the way we act righteously and live our lives. No one be able to tell us apart. So why are they so different from me? Why can they see and I can't see? How can they hear the spiritual realm and I can't hear? You know what? But even if it's to be this way to the day I die, I'm most grateful because of the family that the Father has born me into. He just hearing from you what you see would be enough for me if this is my fate in life. I'm like, oh, that we had the unbelief and faith of Hog. But look, this came in handy for him right now, and everybody else super spiritual. Now they too scared because of what they done seen and heard. We ain't going back to the graveyard tonight. Sorry, the holy book is gonna be lost. Man, y'all chill out. They ain't it's y'all overactive imagination. Daddy, you stay here too, because you're a little bit old, bro. I'll be right back. Listen, I'm gonna read verse 19 again. With that, Hog departed, and after a while he returned, rejoicing, bringing the book. And he said, I neither saw nor heard a spirit, and I declare unto you that none of you saw nor heard them, for there are none. By the extreme bent of your minds, these imaginations seem real. And as to the great light, with the words, love, wisdom, and power, which I also saw, I say unto you, it is some emanation from this, our holy and most loved Father. How oft have we heard him use those same words? And as to those figures that talked and had the semblance of men and women, even to their garments, I say unto you, they all emanate from the same source, even from our Father, Brahma. Now spake Yusuf, saying, O happy unbelief, my son, O that I had been born as thou, O that I had never seen such sights as I saw this night. Then said Us, O happy brother, our youngest born, would that I were like unto thee, O the vulgarity of those hands that came upon me this night. Thus said, O that I had never known the unseen world, O that I had been born in darkness like unto thee, our most favored brother. After that manner, they all spake deploringly of their gift of Suis. And when they had thus spoken, the angel of God spoke through Brahma, saying, Whilst it is yet night, I speak. With the dawn at sunrise is the Father's voice. Hear me, then, briefly, expecting not much wisdom, for I am not long born in heaven. Brahma about to pass away. Two great men created, hold on, two great men created the creator, the faithist and the unbeliever. the one who have passed through the trials of the flesh and attained to the Father's voice, for in becoming one with the Father, he no longer standeth in fear of anything in heaven or in earth. The glory of constant resurrection is before him forever. All men who have not attained to this may be likened unto a man going up a slippery hillside, who oft rises high, but suddenly slideth low. They glorify themselves for their own light and wisdom and good gifts, rejoicing for self's sake for the glories that have fallen upon them, but they are cowards. Nevertheless, the Creator created a great man amongst these, and such is the unbelieving man. He hath neither gold nor silver, nor house, nor land, and he is without spiritual sight or spiritual hearing, but his glory is in understanding his own understanding. He it is that subdueth the forest and tameth the beasts of the field to man's service. He goeth alone in the dark, fearing naught. He followeth not the same course of any man, but searcheth for himself. The priest cannot make him believe, nor can the angels of heaven. None can subdue his judgment. He beholdeth the glory of the earth and of manhood. He calleth to the multitude, saying, Why permit ye others, even priests, to think for you? Arise, O thou, and be a man. Arise, O thou, and be a woman. He inspired, he inspireth of the earth and for the earth. Through his arms are tyrants and evil kings overthrown. Through him are doctrines and religions sifted to the bottom, and the falsehood and evil in them cast aside. Yea, who but Ormaz could have created so great a man as the unbeliever? It totally helps me see unbelievers in a completely different light now. Sometimes we call them atheists, right? But atheists aren't necessarily those who don't believe in anything. They just don't believe in a bunch of garbage a lot of religions are peddling. They're like, look, you need to think for yourself. Hold on, that is not even logical. A lot of times they are those um they're kind of like my nephew, the whole discussion we had yesterday about his question and stuff. They're more logical, looking at the earth. They understand that there's a spiritual realm or whatever, but they, not that they think that it's too far above them, but it's like, you know what, we were created to live on this plane. We need to be doing what we need to be doing here in order to keep living here, right? Okay, sweep the floor because God ain't gonna come clean your house. You drive the car, take some lessons behind the wheel because Jesus ain't gonna take it, right? He ain't gonna show up. You need to learn how to take your own wheel and drive yourself, right? Learn how to help yourself. That's what we call unbelievers. Or you ain't got no kind of faith in God. No, not. I would not look at them as such, right? We need them. We really do, right? Because a lot of times they help steer us back to common sense when we just so spiritually gone that it's like we too high to even notice that you need a shower today, right? You ain't so heavenly that you still don't need to take a shower down here. You have flesh, you stink. Go wash your hind parts, right? Use soap and water too. Listen, Francis, shalom. Okay, let me read verse 27 again. He it is that subdueth the forest and tameth the beasts of the field to man's service. He goeth alone in the dark, fearing naught. He feareth not the course of any man, but searcheth for himself. The priest cannot make him believe, nor can the angels of heaven. None can subdue his judgment. He beholdeth the glory of the earth and of manhood. He calleth to the multitude, saying, Why permit ye others, even priests, to think for you? Arise, O thou, and be a man. Arise, O thou, and be a woman. He inspireth of the earth and for the earth. Through his arms, through his arm are tyrants and evil kings overthrown. Through him are doctrines and religions sifted to the bottom, and the falsehood and evil in them cast aside. Yea, who but Ormaz could have created so great a man as the unbeliever? Yeah, that might be our title today. But I'm gonna switch out Ormaz for y'all because some people like Ormaz, but who is you worshiping today? Because they ain't been here. They don't know. Ormaz is another name for the great spirit or the greatest light of the lights who are here, right? Ormaz simply means master light, right? Okay. And these two men, the faithist and the unbeliever, do mostly all the good that is done in the world. The one laboreth at the top of the hill, calling upward. The other laboreth at the bottom of the hill, pushing upward. That is amazing. Yo, that is good. That really is. Created Jehovah, peace and blessings. All right, chapter 20. On the next morning at sunrise, Ormaz spake again through Brahma, and Vedi wrote down the words, and on the succeeding morning in like manner, and so continued for 40 days. And in 40 days, behold, the Veda was completed. The holy words of Brahma were written. God said to Brahma, go now and preach my gospel unto whomsoever will hear, proclaiming liberty to all who will follow thee. I will be with thee unto the end, and excuse me, I will be with thee until the end, and thou shalt take Utiv thy wife, and all thy sons with thee, even Hog, the youngest born, because this boy gonna keep some of y'all out of trouble. Although he can't hear me, he's using his common earthly sense to keep y'all from falling in that ditch. Things that he's perceiving and can understand about the earth. Y'all need this boy. Take him with you. Look. God said to Brahma, go now and preach my gospel unto whomsoever will hear, proclaiming liberty to all who will follow thee. I will be with thee to the end, and thou shalt take Utiv thy wife and all thy sons with thee, even Hog, the youngest born. So Brahma went forth preaching by day and exhibiting the spirits of the dead by night. But to the chosen he spake at dawn, in the early morning, at the time the all light was upon him. And his sons also preached and explained. And Utiv explained to all women how it was with her when pregnant with her sons. Only Hall preached not, neither opened he his mouth before the populace as to his unbelief. In his soul he said, these things may be true, and if they be true, it is well. If they be not true, still the believing of them by the populace worketh righteousness and goodness. With all my philosophy, I cannot move the multitude to righteousness, but my Father maketh them as a flock of sheep. They cease from evil and they practice good fellowship. Therefore, I will stand by my Father to the end. When Brahma came near a city, he halted outside the walls that according to law the kings could not stay his voice. And the multitude came out of the city to hear him, and many returned not, but remained with Brahma and his sons in their camp. And when Brahma moved to another city, they went with him. And in a little while the host of Brahma were as an army of thousands, and not a few of them were men and women of wealth, and they cast their treasures at Brahma's feet, saying, take thou this trash and give me everlasting life instead. That might be our title for today. Take thou this trash and give me everlasting life instead. That might be our title, y'all. I like that more. I mean, I like all of it, but this one just has it just grabs you right deep down in your shanana. Take thou this trash and give me of everlasting life instead. But men of learning came not to Brahma, neither came the priests, nor the kings, nor magicians, nor consulters of oracles. God said, take thy host and establish them in families of tens and of twenties and of hundreds and of thousands, and give thou a head father unto each and every family. And thy people shall be a people unto themselves, having nothing in such as the king's people desired not. And thou and thy people shall possess the lands and dwell together in love and wisdom, doing good to one another. So Brahma did as commanded, and he established the mountains of Rome, Roam, like Rome. We're going to roam on down the street, roam from country to country. That's what it's called, Rome, and it's spelled like that. So Brahma did as commanded, and he established the mountains of Rome and the valleys and the mountains of Rome, and his people dwelt there. In all, 6,820 men, women, and children. And there came to Brahma a certain captain general of the army of King Sayethaha of the west kingdom of Vidhu, wherein lay the city of Gauls Chamgaramas. Gauls Chamgaramas, of 1,000,000 inhabitants, and he said unto Brahma, in the name of the king, mightiest of men, Sayathaha am I before thee, O Brahma. Behold, the king sendeth thee gold, silver, and copper, saying, Brahma is good. Brahma shall give me the blessing of heaven. Brahma answered the captain general, saying, Brahma saluted the king, mightiest of men, Sayathaha, in the name of Ormaz, the creator, in love, and in these wise words that come to the soul of Brahma. Brahma sendeth the king's servant, even the captain general, back to the king with his gold, silver, and copper, saying, Deal thou with thy creator and not with men. The great spirit holdeth all blessings in his own hands. Give him thy treasures. I love Brahma. You can't say that in a Christian church nowadays, so they're gonna be like, what? First of all, he's a false god. Why are you even letting his name come across your lips? See, bro, you don't even know the whole story. You don't even know who the true Brahma really was, right? You're getting regurgitated stories. The great spirit holdeth all blessings in his own hands. Give him thy treasures. The captain general departed and returned with his gold, silver, and copper to the king, and told the king Brahma's words. The king was pleased with the wisdom of Brahma, but withal felt rebuked and sore at heart. So Ormazd suffered Satan to possess the king for a season, and the king resolved to destroy Brahma and all his people. And he commanded the captain general to assemble together 50,000 men with arms ready for battle. And when they were thus prepared and started on their journey, which would require 7 days, the king bethought him to inquire of the oracle as to his best mode of success. Now the angel of God had taken possession of the oracle, and yet the Magi knew it not, nor did Sayethaha. So the king came before the sand table, and the spirit wrote these words: He who hath become one with Ormazd is mightier than any army. Oh, he using the oracle tables, but the oracle tables is giving him the truth. Listen. Let me read this again. Verse 13, page 305. Now the angel of God had taken possession of the oracle, and yet the Magi knew it not, nor did Sayathaha. So the king came before the sand table, and the spirit wrote these words: He who hath become one with Ormazd is mightier than an army. Take off thy crown, O king, mightiest of men, and thy golden robes, and all that is fine and fair to look upon, and clothe thyself in the poorest of garments, even as a droop that wandereth about. But thy crown and thy costly robes and thy raiment, fine and fair to look upon, put upon thy body servant. And ye twain shall go in advance of the army, even before Brahma. And thou shalt witness that man who professeth to labor for the poor will fall on his belly before the man of riches and power. And behold, O king, thou shalt feel justified in destroying him that falleth before the crown and robes, knowing he is a hypocrite. He started off good, getting him some good information. Now he trying to pull one in on Obi. Yeah. Tabitha, thank you. I like what you just said. She said, remember, Tabitha is Keon Cooper. She using her son account. She said the Oahspe words are so simple and compared to the KJV Bible, ain't it? It's just like it's just good for the soul. It really is, and there is nothing like I haven't found like one thing yet that I can argue against the Oahspe in relation to the KJV. If anything, it brings enlightenment and further understanding to the scriptures that we've been reading, that we've only had for so many generations, right? It is the simplest, right? By far the simplest. And it's like, it's just, it's good through and through, right? Listen, okay. verse verse 14. And thou shalt witness that man who professeth to labor for the poor will fall on his belly before the man of riches and power. And behold, O king, thou shalt feel justified in destroying him that falleth before the crown and robes, knowing he is a hypocrite. The king was pleased with this, and he fulfilled all that was commanded of the oracle. And when he came near Brahma's camp, a man came before the king's servant, saying, Behold, O king, Command me as thou wilt. And he prostrated himself on the ground before the king's servant, whereupon the king, dressed as a Druid, came to him and said, Who art thou? And the man answered, Be gone, beggar. My matter is with the king, for he mistook which was which. Remember, so the king and one of his servants switched clothes. So now the king put on beggar's clothes, and his servant looks like the king, right? He said, This is how we're going to trip him up. Go ahead and do this, because they all hypocrites over here, right? Verse 16, the king ordered the man to be seized and taken away and put to death. And the advance guard fell upon the man and slew him with war clubs. And when the man was quite dead, behold, Brahma came, and the king, nor none of his advance guard knew him. And Bus and Wish were with their father, and the three came and stood by the dead man. Brahma then took the king's hand, saying, Thou that art in the garb of a Druk, come hither, for thou hast flesh and blood unto holiness. Who? I guess y'all came upon the wrong dude at first, because look, he took the king's hand and he said, Thou that's dressed as a beggar, come forth, because your blood is royal blood. Like, everybody probably like, wait, hold up, what? How did he figure that out? Who been talking to this dude? Matter of fact, who is this dude? Look. Verse 16, the king ordered the man to be seized and taken away and put to death. And the advance guard fell upon the man and slew him with war clubs. And when the man was quite dead, behold, Brahma came, and the king, nor none of his advance guard knew him. And Bus and Wish were with their father, and the three came and stood by the dead man. Brahma then took the king's hand, saying, Thou that art in the garb of a Druk, come hither, for thou hast flesh and blood unto holiness. Lay thou one hand on the dead man, put thine other hand on my head, for I will prove Ormazd before thine eyes. Behold, thou who hast tried to kill Brahma killed another person. And when the king's hands were placed, Brahma stood by the head of the dead man, and his two sons by the heart. And Brahma said, In thy name, O Ormazd, and by thy power in me, return to life, O man, and arise, arise, arise. And behold, the man was brought to life and rose up and stood before the multitude. The king trembled with fear, and the guard stood aback, amazed. And as far as the servant arrayed in the king's garb, he cast aside the crown and the robes and ran into the forest. Bro, you want what? No, I'm out. Like, what you got me into? Brahma said unto the king, Here standeth the angel of Ormazd, and the angel saith, Thou art the king in disguise. And moreover, that he, the angel, commandeth thee here for this purpose, saying to thee in the oracle, He that hath become one with Ormazd is mightier than an army. Bruh, now you got to know something greater than you is afoot, because nobody was in there with you in that sand table when you heard all this, right? Brahma said unto the king, Here standeth the angel of Ormazd. And the angel saith, Thou art the king in disguise. And moreover, that he, the angel, commanded thee here for this purpose, saying to thee in the oracle, He that hath become one with Ormazd is mightier than an army. The king said, This is true. I swear before thee, O Ormazd, henceforth I will wear such garments as these I have on, and my life shall be given to thy service. Let who will take my kingdom, and I'm sorry, let me just read it over. The king said, This is true. I swear before thee, O Ormazd, henceforth I will wear such garments as these I have on, and my life shall be given to thy service. Let who will take my kingdom, and all I call mine. So Sayathah joined Brahma's host, and with Sayathah came his brothers and their sons and daughters. And those that came cast into a heap whatsoever goods or money they had, and the head fathers of the families divided and distributed the same according to their best wisdom. And Brahma's people, by commandment of Brahma, called themselves not Brahmins, but Vedans, that is, truth followers. I know y'all familiar with the term the Vedas, right? The Vedas, Vedas. Yeah, this is what they wrote. His son wrote a Veda. as they were going throughout the days, and he was scribing everything, right? Okay. Verse 23, page 306. In those days, the language of the kings of Vidu and men of learning was in those days, the language of the kings of Vidu and of men of learning was alo, aloo, al, ao. What? No, that is not how you say that. Allah, alao, all Allo. I'm just gonna say it's alao. I'm just gonna say alao. I probably got that wrong. Okay. In those days, the language of the kings of Vidu and of men of learning was alao, signifying out of all that is good. But the Vedans were the unlearned, and their language was imperfect, and many meanings for every. No, read it again. Read the whole verse again. I'm going too fast. In those days, the language of the kings of Vidu and of men of learning was aleo, signifying out of that is good. But the Vedans were the unlearned, and their language was imperfect, and of many meanings for every spoken and written word. And God foresaw the liability to corruption of the Brahmin religion, and he spake to Brahma, saying, Behold, I have given thee 7 sons, 6 of light and 1 of darkness. Thy 6 sons of light shall establish each one a school amongst my chosen, and teach my scriptures by word of mouth. And all that henceforth become rabbis shall be capable of repeating every word of the Veda by heart. And in after ages, if the plates and the books of my holy religion are destroyed by war, it mattereth not. The substance of thy labors shall live. All right. And so we kind of see that even in the Hebrew camps and stuff. Even when we're fighting over the Torah and the Torah been screwed with and it's been burnt so many times and rewritten, it doesn't matter. Because if it's inscribed on your heart, all the other substance, it doesn't matter. Truth will still prevail. It's still going to reign, right? Let me read this again. And God foresaw the liability to corruption of the Brahmin religion. And he spake to Brahma, saying, Behold, I have given thee 7 sons, 6 of light and 1 of darkness. Thy 6 sons of light shall establish each one a school amongst my chosen, and teach my scriptures by word of mouth. And all that henceforth become rabbis shall be capable of repeating every word of the Veda by heart. And in after ages, if the plates and the books of my holy religion are destroyed by war, it mattereth not. The substance of thy labors shall live. Then did Brahma's sons, as commanded, each and every one becoming a teacher. And again God spake to Brahma, saying, Arise and go where my angel will lead thee, taking thy wife and thy son Hog with thee. And thou shalt travel yet 2 years from place to place, and then return thither, for thy labor will be completed. Where we at? 44 minutes? Okay, we might have time to read 2 more chapters. Chapter 24 is about America, y'all. Actually, 24, 25. Matter of fact, I think all the rest of this, like starting in chapter 24, all the way to chapter what how many chapters I said it was? 20, all the way to 28. It's about America. I'm so excited to get to it. Okay, chapter 21, page 306. The place thus founded by Brahma was called Horeo. Horeo. I think that's how I say it. Horeo. And his people at this time extended in 7 cities and 30 villages, and possessed all the country of Rome. Remember, Rome here is spelled Roam, like we roam from place to place all the time, right? Okay. The place thus founded by Brahma, you know what? It got little flies flying through here. When they delivered some of the furniture, they held the door open forever. And even when I went, I'm like, look, y'all, flies coming in here. So I've been fighting with these darn flies. I bought some fly traps because it's trash day. And people got their trash cans and stuff out. So these flies, I've been chasing them, and you probably seen like 2 fly past me. I thought I got all of them last night. Should have seen me running through my house like a crazy woman with bug spray. Get out of here, fly! I hate bugs so much. Okay. So I know if y'all see me swatting earlier doing like this, I ain't got Tourette's or nothing like that. If you watch closer, you go back and slow the video down. When I do that, you'll see that fly go this way and then come back past my face. All right. Let me focus. Chapter 21. The place thus founded by Brahma was Horeo, and his people at this time extended in 7 cities and 30 villages and possessed all the country of Rome, which had been uninhabited hundreds of years. And the Vedans cultivated the lands, living on fruits, roots, and on bread made of wheat grown in the fields, but they ate neither fish nor flesh, nor anything that had the breath of life. Just go ahead and highlight it. I know I tell y'all to highlight stuff like this every time we come across it. Just go ahead and highlight it if you got your highlighters ready. I read it again. And the Vedans cultivated the lands, living on fruits, roots, and on bread made of wheat grown in the fields, but they ate neither fish nor flesh, nor anything that had the breath of life. Brahma and his wife Utiv and his youngest son, Hog, H-O-G, Hog, departed from Horeo, accompanied by 7 disciples, and went forth under the direction of the angels of Ormuz to preach and explain the Veda, carrying one book with them. And they went first to the northeast through the kingdoms of Hayomsut and Ali Ud and Zeth and Wal-Tichiri, thence westerly to Hatikra. I'm sorry, just ahead of time because I know I'm gonna screw these names up. Hatikutra, where the tyrant Azi Avin had built a temple of skulls after the manner of the ancients. Azi kept 6 dens of lions for devouring his condemned slaves. So, because of oppression, the kingdom of Azi was profitable unto Ormuz. From Hatikra, Brahma obtained 3,000 followers. And when Brahma had 7,000 followers, the angel of God directed him to the plains of Spenta Armashi. And here he established his people, dividing them into families and villages, and appointing priests unto them. And Spenta Armati became known over all the world from that time after. After this, angel directed Brahma to go to the southwest. That's enough. Put it back. Thank you. After this, the angel directed Brahma to go to the southwest through the kingdoms of Hespor and Vateo and Aramea, and thence to Yama, to the city of Hytristi, where Ormuz had a host of 1,000 already inspired to join Brahma. And now the angel directed Brahma to take his host to the mountains of Kararativerwa and establish them, the which he did. And behold, the time of Utiv and Brahma was near an end, for they were grown quite old. The angel said to Brahma, great hath been thy labor, very great, Utivs, where in all the world is such a woman, from the day thou first beheld her, for the glory of thy sons, and in her age to follow thee, walking so far. Behold, O Brahma, Utiv is weakening fast. Rise up and take her back to Hera. I'm getting tongue tied. Blah. Janie, shalom, shalom. Hera Ayo. I'm sorry, y'all. Behold, Brahma, Utiv is weakening fast. Rise up and take her back to Hareo. The mountains of Rome are calling her, and thy faithful son Hall, strong and tall. Take him back with his mother. Hareo is calling. Brahma went and looked at Utiv, and his soul spake within him, saying, O Ormaz, Have I not forgotten her in thee, the mother of my gods? Oh, her proud young soul, when I first saw her, alas, I see she is tottering and feeble. What are you doing? No, Josh can come get his own. Put it back. And where's the bowl you just had? Where is that bowl? Because I don't see it in my kitchen nor over here at this table. And we didn't put the dining room table. So where's that bowl? Go get it. Hurry up. And tell them if they want to eat that, they better bring themselves down these stairs and eat in this kitchen. Hurry up. I told them we ain't gonna start these bad habits of eating all the way through my house. We ain't do it. We is not doing it. No. See, they be trying to be slick. They think I'm sidetracked by reading and possibly talking on the phone or something, right? They do little things and just slide out the room. And she did. She got past me, right? We all heard her rattling the cereal bag, right? But I kept on reading, not paying attention to where she went with her cereal bowl. She took it right up the stairs and came back to get a second one. If she was smart, she would have stayed up there and kept quiet. But coming back, rattling that bag again with a square bowl this time alerted me to the circle bowl that was missing. Okay, y'all. Look. Verse 8. Brahma went and looked at Utib, and his soul spake within him, saying, O Ormaz, have I not forgotten her in thee, the mother of my gods? O her proud young soul, when I first saw her, alas, I see she is tottering and feeble. Brahma went nearer to Utib, and she spake to him, saying, O Brahma, thou god of men, I know not if my eyes are turning dim, but oh, I have had so strange a sight, even toward the high sun. It was myself I saw, rising, going upward, the earth going downward. Then I called, O Ormaz, not alone. Behold, my God is yonder. Let me back to Brahma. Then I thought the Creator brought me back and said, Go thou quickly and see thy godly sons in Horeo, for the time hath come. Brahma said, My angel saith, Go back to Horeo, thy labor is nearly finished. For this reason I came to thee. It is well, therefore, for us that we return, taking Hog with us. So Brahma and Utip and Hog, with 5 remaining disciples, departed for Horeo, which lay 3 days' journey for a man to walk. And they knew not how Utip would go, for she was worn to the last step, and above all, her shoes were worn out, and she had only pieces of cloth to her feet. And whilst they were deliberating, having only gone a short distance, Hall perceived, going in another direction, a score of soldiers mounted on horses, and they were leading a number of spare horses with them. Then the soul of Hall spake to himself, saying, Behold, my father hath made many converts in this day, made good men out of bad ones, and he hath ever refused money and gifts and presents. Now, wherever justice liveth, I know not, but many of the rascals who became followers of my father were conscience stricken with ill gotten gains, and finding that my father would not receive their stuff, they tried me. And behold, my pockets are full of gold and diamonds. You ain't gonna take it, Daddy. I'm up, because you might need it, right? Remember, I'm the one who's taking care of the stuff on the earth while you spiritually minded. Go ahead, refuse it. I'll put it in safekeeping for when you're gonna need it here on the earth. And this is a time. You got 3 days journey, 6 shoes, done wore out. She is wearing cloth on her feet. She ain't gonna make it. We need a horse. Let me dip into my stash. And whilst they were deliberating, having only gone a short distance, Hogg perceived, going in another direction, a score of soldiers mounted on horses, and they were leading a number of spare horses with them. Then the soul of Hogg spake within him, saying to himself, saying, Behold, my father hath made many converts in his day, made good men out of bad ones, and he hath ever refused money and gifts and presents. Now wherever justice liveth, I know not, but many of the rascals became followers of my father, were conscience stricken with ill gotten gains, and finding that my father would not receive their stuff, they tried me, and behold, my pockets are full of gold and diamonds. In truth, it may have been a very devil prompted me, but am I supposed not to know the higher light, but to know the lower? Of myself and for myself, I want not these things. If they belong to Ormaz, it followeth that I should not keep them. Therefore, if I give of gold or diamonds to the soldiers, they will give me a horse for my angel mother to ride on. Who knoweth but by the way of the soldiers is nearest road for this gold to find its way to Ormaz. That was a long sentence. Let me read it again and break it up. Jeez, Pete's. Okay. I ain't gonna read the whole thing. Let me just go back to in truth. In truth, it may have been a very devil prompted me, but I am supposed not to know the higher light, but to know the lower. Of myself and for myself, I want not these things. If they belong to Ormaz, it followeth I should not keep them. Therefore, if I give of gold or diamonds to those soldiers, they will give me a horse for my angel mother to ride on. Who knoweth but by the way of those soldiers is the nearest road for this gold to find its way to Ormaz? So Hog went away and purchased a horse and brought it to his mother, saying, Behold, a man giveth thee a present in the name of Ormaz, but forbiddeth thee to retain it, save to ride to Hareo, whether thou shalt sell it and give the money to the poor. Yusuf said, A good man he was, and wise, for only on his own conditions could I have accepted the horse. Accordingly, Yusuf was mounted on the horse, and they proceeded on their way, going slowly, for Brahma was also near the end. I mean, shoot, why you at it? Go ahead and get the horse for your daddy too. I'm like, Mama and Daddy, look, both y'all kind of, Mama walk around with washcloths on her feet. Daddy, you can barely keep up. You gonna guide her horse? I mean, I get it. You the man. You want to make sure you. Oh, I get it. But how about all of us get on the horse, right? And when we get there, we just sell all of them and get the money from all three onto the poor. That's what would have been my reasoning. Let us get there a little bit faster, right? But the men, let the women ride. We'll walk. We're gonna thug it out because that's what we was made. I mean, I get it. I get it. But I'm like, bro, you should have got 3 horses. So Hog went away and purchased a horse and brought it to his mother, saying, Behold, a man giveth thee a present in the name of Ormaz, but forbiddeth thee to retain it, save to ride to Hareo, whether thou shalt sell it and give the money to the poor. Yusuf said, A good man he was, and wise, for only on his conditions could I have accepted the horse. Accordingly, Yusuf was mounted on the horse, and they proceeded on their way, going slowly, for Brahma was also near the end. And after 7 days, they arrived at Hareo, where they were received by Brahma's sons and by all the multitude of disciples. But owing to Yusuf's deep love for her sons, and being worn out withal, and having witnessed the glory of righteous works fulfilled through her husband and her sons, the strain was too much for her corporal parts. And they brought straw and stretched her along, and a bundle of straw under her head. Then she spake, saying, First to thee, O Ormaz, my blessing, because thou createst me alive to enjoy thy glories. Next, O Brahma, my husband, my blessing on thee, God of men. Thou hast taught me the fullness of earth and heaven. O the glory of having been thy wife. Then she called Waish and said, O my son, my firstborn, my blessing on thee, because I have watched thee from the hour of conception. I have had the wisdom of creation demonstrated before me. O the joy when first mine eyes beheld thee. I am going now to prepare a place in heaven for thee. And after that, Yusuf blessed all her sons, and coming to Hog, she said, My blessing on thee, O my latest born, God of men. To all my other sons I have told my love, but to thee my soul so overfloweth. I am as, hold on, this is good. I love the way this woman talks. From the very beginning, from the first time we met YouTube, all the way in the beginning, when she was describing what she saw in Brahma and what joy it would be for a woman to have children by you, she said it would be like peopling the earth with gods and goddesses, right? Women would be fighting to be with you. Listen, I just love the way this woman talked. Listen. Verse 19. And after that, Yutuf blessed all her sons, and coming to Hog, she said, my blessings on thee, O my latest born, God of men. To all my other sons I have told my love, but to thee my soul so overfloweth, I am as a dumb woman. Thou hast been a very God in all thy ways, and believest not in Ormaz, nor in heaven, nor angels, for which reason I took upon thee as the highest of all creations. Thou art good for goodness' sake, wise for wisdom's sake, happy in finding a way to master all unhappiness. Boy, isn't that an amazing way to talk about an unbeliever? Yo, listen, I gotta read it again. Listen, because he was good, even though he was an unbeliever, because of the environment he was raised in, even though he was born in the height of the unbelief of Utiv and Brahma, after they got over that and the family that they fostered and reared and like the love and the commandments of the great spirit, it so affected his unbelieving soul so much. He said, you are just good for goodness sake, right? You find a way to be happy in all unhappiness. Let me just read this again. It's so good. Listen, verse 19. And after that, Yutah blessed all her sons, and coming to Hog, she said, my blessing on thee, O my latest born, God of men. To all my other sons I have told my love, but to thee my soul so overfloweth, I am as a dumb woman. Thou hast been a very God in all thy ways, and believest not in Ormaz, nor in heaven, nor angels. For which reason I look upon thee as the highest of all creations. Thou art good for goodness' sake, wise for wisdom's sake, happy in finding a way to master all unhappiness. And these were Utiv's last words. She shut her eyes, she was dead. So they took her body and robed it in white, and on the fourth day buried her in the forest of Rome. And after the fourth day, after date has reference number 16, and at the bottom of the page it says, and in brackets, on the fourth day, in brackets, buried her. Okay. All right, y'all. That was really good. We had an hour. We had an hour and 2 minutes. Let's just read one more chapter because it's only 13 verses. These be getting so good, I don't even want to stop reading, y'all. Okay. But we gotta go. We gotta get to work and stuff. All right, I'm gonna just read this last chapter and we're gonna be done for today. Chapter 22. On the day of Utiv's death, Brahma said, sing no songs, pray in silence only. Let her soul be quiet with Ormazd. On the second day, Brahma said, pray in whispers, praise in whispers, the best good deeds of the dead. On the third day, Brahma said, burst forth a song of praise to Ormazd, extol the virtues of the dead. On the fourth day, Brahma said, in song and in prayer, bid the dead to arise and go onward, upward. So remember, right here, this is still following what we learned that when our family members or friends die, or when those who pass away, for 3 days, we find out that they're still lingering around here, right? They can do we just kind of sum up, they do their last goodbyes, even though most of their family, if they're not spiritual, they won't be able to see them anyway, but they're still here, right? And for 3 days, it is allotted 3 days for all who pass to remain here. So like I said, they can do their last goodbyes, go through, but for 3 days, we are to pray for them morning, noon, and night, and just thanking them and worshiping the Creator, one for their life, and to carry them on so that they can continue their growth, so they won't be attached here. They say do that for 3 days. Pray for them 3 times a day, morning, noon, and evening. And after the third day, you're not to do that anymore. It's kind of like a ceremony, like burial, death rites or whatever, funeral rites. But after the third day, you aren't to do it anymore. And after the last time, you pray to the Father and ask Him to go ahead and lead them upward so they can continue their education and their growth, as they've been born into heaven, right? And from that point, we just kind of, how can I say it? We don't do it anymore. You don't keep praying for them, because after that point, there was a prayer. I wish I would have marked it. I marked it, but I don't remember the page I put it on. And it's I even forget what book. I know y'all remember. It may have been in the Book of Divinity, Or maybe not. Could have been in Fragapati towards the end. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna find it and I'll share it. I'm gonna post the whole thing. Uh, right. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna paste it so you can see it. Give you matter of fact, it tells you in like 2 different places. But after that, you just release them and ask the Father to deal with us and like heal our heart or whatever, because they gone, we're gonna be missing them, and to also deal with them so that they can release us. It's a process of release. We release them and they release us, right? So that they can continue growing, as they've been born in heaven. Okay, y'all get it. All right, but I'll post that. I gotta go back and find it. Verse 5. Actually, let me read verse 4 again. On the 4th day, Brahma said, in song and in prayer, be it the dead, arise and go onward, upward. Thus they put Utiv in the ground on the 4th day, and then they went and sat in the sacred circle and sang and prayed for her soul to go on to nirvana or paradise. Paradise is in parentheses after nirvana. And when they had finished, a light came down in the midst of the circle, and an angel in white appeared. It was Utiv, the soul of Utiv, and the glory of Ormaz, the creator. Then spake the angel Utiv, saying, out from the head of the corporal body, the spirit is born, and angels stand around. On a spirit blanket receive they the spirit of the dead. One day in quiet, they keep the spirit, teaching it to reconcile and understand. On the 2nd day, the Spirit heareth the prayers of the earth people coming upward. And on the 3rd day, the Spirit understandeth death and birth of spirit. This is good. I definitely got to find that part. I definitely got to find those 2 places and post it. Then I got to post it with this because all this goes together, right? So this is the first time I read what actually happens on those 3 days. I'm going to read this again. This is good. I'm gonna put it all together, y'all. Give me a couple hours because I gotta find it. When I get off here, I gotta do something. Then I get a time to come back to this and go search and put it all together. And I'll post it and the reference where you can find it and stuff. Okay, let me read this again. I'll go back to 5. Thus they put Utif in the ground on the 4th day, and then they went and sat in the sacred circle and sang and prayed for her soul to go on to nirvana, paradise. And when they had finished, a light came down in the midst of the circle, and an angel in white appeared. It was Utif, the soul of Utif, and the glory of Ormaz, the creator. Then spake the angel Utif, saying, yes. I'm trying to take the dopamine. Okay, I'll get my fingernail clippers in a minute. Shalom, Kila Olam Kasto. Shalom. I probably said your name wrong. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Okay. Then spake the angel Utif, saying, out from the head of the corporal body, the spirit is born, and angels stand around. On a spirit blanket receive they the spirit of the dead. One day in quiet they keep the spirit, teaching it to reconcile and understand. On the 2nd day the spirit heareth the prayers of the earth people coming upward, and on the 3rd day the spirit understandeth death and birth of spirit. And on the 4th day, when ye sang, O goddess, arise from the dead, the Father calleth thee from on high, arise, O goddess, and go thy way. Then was my spirit free from the earth, resting in the arms of gods and goddesses who had come from on high to receive me. Thus, O my beloved, on the 3rd day is the first. What? This just clicked something in my head. Hold on. Where's my son calling me? Yes, Bella. Hold on. Pause. Hold on 1 quick second. I'm sorry, y'all. Yes, son. I'm still live.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just calling so you can see the water.
Oh, it's so beautiful. You working out at the beach today, or you just taking a break?
Yeah, I've been working out at the ocean front, but I don't have any jobs right now, so I just came to the beach to play my mind.
Oh, enjoy the time, son. Okay, I'm about to end my video. I'll call you back. All right.
My bad. Go ahead, my lady.
Love you too. All right. Oh, that's so sweet. He got a little break in between his job, and he just went to the beach. He called me to show me the water. It's so sweet. Jamia. Oh, you saying shalom to them. Okay. Yes. Not today. Let me finish this, y'all. Hold on, I'm almost done. Then I get a fingernail clippers and I clip that. Then no, we're not going to the beach today. Then spake the angel Yusuf, saying, out of the head of the corporal body, the spirit is born, and angels stand around. On the spirit blanket receive they the spirit of the dead. Just kind of like when women are giving birth, the nurses, they stand there with a blanket to, well, not with a blanket. They take the baby with their hands, then they wrap them in a blanket. But y'all get it. Same thing. On a spirit blanket, they receive the spirit of the dead. One day, in quiet, they keep the spirit, teaching it to reconcile and understand. On the second day, the spirit heareth the prayers of the earth people coming upward. And on the third day, the spirit understandeth death and birth of spirit. And on the fourth day, when ye sang, O goddess, arise from the dead, the Father calleth thee from on high. Arise, O goddess, and go thy way. Then was my spirit freed from the earth, resting in the arms of gods and goddesses who had come from on high to receive me. Thus, O my beloved, on the third day is the first resurrection, and to the holy, the second resurrection beginning on the fifth day. After the fifth day, call ye me back not again. My labor lieth yonder. I must build houses for you all. Thus Ormas sendeth me on before. Yes, baby.
You can just give me a band-aid with me.
Oh, you're gonna have to wait a minute, okay? But get some Carmex right there, put it on your lips. This made its way into the Bible. They just worded a little different. Let me read this again. I done read this like 80 times, but we almost done, y'all. And on the fourth day, when ye sang, O goddess, arise from the dead, the Father calleth thee from on high. Arise, O goddess, and go thy way. Then was my spirit free from the earth, resting in the arms of gods and goddesses who had come from on high to receive me. Thus, O my beloved, on the third day is the first resurrection. And to the holy, the second resurrection beginneth on the fifth day. After the fifth day, call ye me not back again. My labor lieth yonder. I must build houses for you all. Thus Ormas sendeth me on before. If it be his will for me to return to you at times, I will return. His will above all. This is the greatest wisdom. Wish, her firstborn, asked, what of the angels of the intermediate world, O mother? Then answered his angel mother, saying, they were shown to us in Ebon Grove. Y'all remember the ones they got frightened at and everybody ran? We ain't going back to the Grove tonight. And the hall was like, ain't nobody out there. I'm going to go get the book. Y'all stay right here. You too dead because you're too old. Listen. Wish, her firstborn asked, what of the angels of the intermediate world, O mother? Then answered his angel mother, saying, they were shown to us in Ebon Grove. Alas, some of them do not begin the resurrection for 1,000 years, right? And those are the ones that refuse to continue to rise and grow. They stay here. They latch themselves on to family members and friends. And those are the ones that are here haunting houses, pushing stuff off of people's counters and stuff like that, right? Alas, some of them do not begin the resurrection for 1,000 years, right? So some of the spirits we encounter are souls of old who have refused to rise and grow, right? They could have been here 1700s, yes.
What if there's just a petty, that one petty, let's just say ghost. He or she just see you have a good time. It's like, no, I don't like you.
And there are many petty ghosts.
and look, they'd be like this, they'd be like,
yeah, don't you knock my stuff off here.
Slow, but sure.
Yeah, ask your Aunt Alicia about it. She had some petty ghosts hanging around her place, the last place she just moved out of. Ask Uncle Jonathan about it. He was there. Ask him. Ask Jalen. They was talking about it all the time. I was like, y'all better pray our house out. I ain't coming over there no more. It's like, what y'all got going on over there? Okay, we're almost done. Verse 9. Then came the angel Utiv over near Hall, her latest born, whom she loved so well. She said, "Canst thou see me, my son?" Hog answered, "Nay, I only see a glimmering light faintly. I hear a voice, but it soundeth not like my mother's voice. Yet if it be that there is a soul that liveth after death, and if of a truth thou art the very spirit and soul of her who brought me forth, be thou not unhappy because of my unbelief. As for myself, I am happy because thou broughtest me forth in unbelief. Neither would I of my own will be any other way. Whether our eyes be blue or black, whether we are short or tall, or whether we are believers or disbelievers, even as we are created, and to fill our place in doing good unto others with all our wisdom and strength, is this not glory enough?" This boy is so wise. I love Hog. Yes, baby. Jerome, make her some hot chocolate, please. Yusuf said, "O thou fairest of men, in the day thou art born in heaven, thou shalt not." Hey, let him get it. Let him get it. Don't make all that noise. Shemai, can you get that, please? Listen. Yusuf said, O thou wisest of men, in the day thou art born in heaven, thou shalt not linger long in the intermediate world, but be crowned a very God indeed. Here ended my labors with the earth, O ye, my beloved. And Otivan awaiteth by the way for me to ascend. The gods and goddesses are calling me. Farewell to my beloved. Farewell. This is so amazing. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, let's hold that argument for 1 second. I gotta finish this. And now the music of heaven descended, and even whilst the mortals sang, the very gates of heaven opened, and the angel Yusuf rose upward in a sea of fire. But behold, the love of great Brahma was too much for him. His eyes raised upward after the ascending light, and his soul burst within him. He fell down and stretched himself on the cold earth. He too was dead. Wow, that it just happened like that sometime, right? The husband and wife are so close, and when one dies or they see the death of one, they just immediately give up the ghost, right? And I think that's, in so many words, I think the Father allows it to happen. Not that, not that they, well, not that they have control over their own soul to do that, but it seems in a way that they do because they're linked together, right? And we've even seen stories like on the news and heard about it when an elderly couple, the husband to pass away, the wife, because of her grief or a broken heart within days, or even a couple times I heard within hours, the wife passes away as well, right? It's like we ride together, we die together, right? That's just the way it is.
So let's say you marry somebody and y'all both pass on. Will y'all still carry that so-called marriage or bondage after that?
Oh, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that because I was looking, because people say, "Well, you're not giving him," we're not giving him marriage like we think, but they explain that in here, and I'm just not gonna talk ahead because I want to make sure I get everything and I don't leave anything out. But this actually talks about that, y'all. So when I pull it up, y'all know I'll be pointing it out.
Well, here's one question right here.
And of course, it'll be my title for that day, whatever day when we get to that.
Well, this is my question to that. Well, is there like, if that were to happen, is there like a fusion type of thing by chance?
There is like a fusion of
like
souls.
So two beings into one being.
Oh, like when you both are born in heaven?
Think of the Gemini.
Oh, not like Steven Universe, really. But in a way, kinda, because your fusion happens like while we're here, although we're still kind of separate. I mean, like kind of like we are separate bodies, but when you come together and you marry somebody, there is a fusion of souls that happen, which y'all ever notice? And you don't even have to be married. If you're intimate with somebody, right? You got to pay attention. You ever wonder why that people who are intimate with one another start looking alike? It's the whole fusion thing that's happening with the soul, and it's another whole law that happens, right? And like when people first get married, it's like, oh, you got your own, look about yourself. But as you get older and you grow together and you're intimate more and more as the years pass, then you just like, you begin to think alike, you begin to finish each other's sentences and just all these things. You actually be your although your face doesn't change, it when people look at y'all two side by side, your faces almost begin to look the same. It's weird. It's weird, but yeah, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, look, it's like two more verses. Let me finish these two verses. Verse 12. But behold, the love of great Brahma was too much for him. His eyes raised upward after ascending light, and his soul burst within him. He fell down and stretched himself on a cold earth. He too was dead. Then burst the mighty hearts of Brahma's sons. The whole earth shook with the wail of gods. The wind, the air above the earth stood still, and the forest of Rome shuddered as if the earth were rent in twain. Then wailed the sons and daughters of Hereo. Though no man uttered it, yet all knew that great Brahma was dead. And after, as if the earth were rent in twain, after rent is reference number 17. And 17 just says bent. It was like the entire earth was bent in two. All right, I read it again. The last verse. Then burst the mighty hearts of Brahma's sons. The whole earth shook with the wail of gods. The wind, the air above the earth stood still, and the forest of Rome shuddered as if the earth were rent in twain. Then wailed the sons and daughters of Hereo. Though no man uttered it, yet all knew that great Brahma was dead. Okay, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All right, y'all. Those are your father's cookies. Every time he brings sweets in here, y'all get to it. No, don't eat it. Leave it alone. He wanted it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have bought it. And he only bought 2 to let you know, don't touch it. Yeah, that one he bought. People been eating it. And what? No, let me see. Somebody broke it half and put it back, which is why he bought him some more. Leave your damn snacks alone. Okay, y'all. And that is it for today. I'm gonna find girl. Look, okay, y'all. So that was it. This is really good. So when we get back to this, this is still not the end. It's still going on, but because of the sake of time today and it's Thursday, we absolutely have to pause right here. So I give like a quick recap tomorrow when we come back, and then it's gonna go into the rest of this and Brahma, and after he was born into heaven, what he began to teach them and all that good stuff. So that's here, and this is where America comes in at. It's so good. Thank you. Yeah, all this is just it's all an awesome read, right? And I'm just here reading it out loud, right? I enjoy every bit of it. I and my husband look like brother and sister after 33 years of marriage. Well, first of all, sis, congratulations on 33 years of marriage. Many people don't make it that far. We about to hit 21 here in September. So first of all, congratulations on that. But definitely after 33 years of marriage, y'all should be looking like twins.
Y'all lucky. I'm born in the generation of vagabonds.
What?
Y'all lucky. I was born in the generation of vagabonds.
Every generation has its own level encased of men who are considered vagabonds by some of the other humans on the earth. All right, y'all. All right, that is it for today, y'all. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. It is July the 14th, 2022, day 158 of year 4, reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets. Another 4-year consecutive day count. We are at day 1,176, and that is without the Sabbath days and a couple of days I had to take off for whatever reasons. But anyway, we have been present here and accounted for the last a little over 4 years, going strong. Right, searching for truth, and every day we find out a little bit more, and every day the more truth that we find out, we take it, assimilate it, and apply it to our life, that we may be full of light as children of the greater light. Right? All right, y'all. With that being said, go ahead and get out of here. I love y'all. May y'all continue to bless you in all that you do, and may your life be so full of light that you light up the world, that when you are born into heaven, the earth will shake and know that a god or a goddess has left the building. Look. Still working on it. But when I go, I want people to know Sister rolled out on us. Right? Yes. And that won't be until I fulfill y'all will, until I fulfill all that I was sent here to do. All right. Yes, lady. I see it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, y'all. That's it. I love y'all. Hold on. Kila Olam Casado. My husband and I have been together 10 years. Don't look alike at all. Keep being married. Keep being married, sis. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Would you stop trying to end my video?
It's probably not that y'all look alike. It's more so y'all act alike.
That too. Yeah, I can see that. All right, y'all. But anyway, you grow together. You grow in common. It's like if you see one, you see the other, or just like y'all come talk to me and your dad separately or whatever. We'll be like, well, did you talk to your father? Or he'll be like, did you talk to your mother? And even if we had talked to one another, we just want to make sure y'all know that we talk to one another, so you can't try and run game on us, right? So if you're talking to one, it's like you're talking to the other. Same sound, same band, right? One sound, one voice, one band, right? All right, y'all. I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow. Bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sister, I'm gonna tell you to put Carmex on your lips. Go ahead and end the video. Look, have people think out. Girl, hurry up. Lick your lips. Lick them. Lick them.
I'm
All right.
looking there.
All right, y'all. Bye. Girl, in this video.
Mom, I had some on.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Girl, in this video.
This
Uh-oh.
is everywhere.
Rub your lips together. Sorry, y'all. I know this is such an unprofessional production. But hey, it's the Murphys. This is what we do. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Peace. End it. End it. Hit end, girl. Bye, y'all.
Mom.
Smell good.